Probably came across Vaughan about sort of 7 or 8 years ago. Probably I used to travel down to Tapanui to coach people down there, and just he was they organised school people, the school kids after school. So just started to see him sort of about 2 or 3 times a year from that respect, and then as he got better, we spent a lot more time together. So he just started off. He was just a normal kid to start off with, so which is always a good thing. Yeah. So anybody can do it.
So
yeah.
as a coach, that's the best time to grab him when he's raw.
Oh, absolutely. When they're young, they they develop themselves, and rather than you trying to develop them, and you want to create. Golfers should be their own personalities, I think, rather than sort of cloning them, so to speak. So, and he's just developed as a nice, good kid, and he's got it's going well.
When you first saw him, could you see the potential?
Well, you never really. It's always that's a tough one to answer, but no, not really. Well, you see it, yes, you do see it. He's because he had the skill, and then it's all that determination comes from after that, and the hard work is the one that creates what he's got now. Yeah, it's all that hard work that he's done over the last few years that has made him what he is now.
So where did you start with the coaching? What's the first thing you worked on?
Oh, you just start them from the start, the basics, taking aim, getting a solid grip, and then good posture, and then again his swing is developed. It's a Vaughan McCall swing, so to speak, and that's what you want. You want to have that personality in his swing.
How long did it take to get from that very basic model to something that you thought could fashion into a good golfer?
Probably he started competing about when he was probably about 16, 17, started competing well, and then getting into rep teams in Southland. And then he started moving out into the South Island events and North Island events, and then he showed that he could compete against other players throughout New Zealand, and that's when you started to see he's got some talent.
Must be very satisfying for you to have started at the very beginning to see what it's not the finished model yet, but well advanced.
Yeah, no, it is good. It is very good. You get very, very proud. But the best part about it is he's still got a long way to go, and he's got the capability to go a lot further as well. So that then puts the pressure on me to keep my skill set up.
Did it surprise you when he won the 2 amateur titles? I mean, that was such a rare feat.
It was a rare feat, but no, he was pretty determined to win them, and it was a good field, and he was playing pretty well at the time. So no, I was pretty confident he would do very well at them anyway. Yeah.
Let's talk about some specific aspects of his game. Our first impression maybe 3 years ago, very short backswing, punching the ball, but that you're working on that.
Yeah, we are. We're just working on getting a little bit higher arc on the backswing. So our major goal with Vaughan is to create a little bit more distance for him to compete more internationally. He's got to get a lot more distance, so maybe 10, 15 metres off the tee, or probably 20 metres off the tee, and then we just want to develop that. So he needs a bigger arc, so he creates some more power. So that's our aim for the future.
So what do you think what's an ideal distance? Is 275, something like that? Is that good enough, or do you need to be a little bit longer these days?
I think you need to be, that's about the average in the US Tour, so I think he needs to be a little bit longer than that. It's nice to have that in the tank as well, so it's good to have a good solid base, but be able to hit it a little bit further when you want to. Yeah.
And do you think you've got the capacity to get that extra?
Absolutely, yeah, totally, yeah, because he's now working on his physical aspect. He's been doing that pretty well over the last 18 months, and then we've just built up his strength from there. So he'll pick up some distance, no worries.
What about his general iron work, long game, short game? What's the strength?
His short game and putting is his strength. He's a very, very good putter, then that saves you when you're playing not so well. When we don't always hit it as good as we'd like all the time. So his putting and short game then enables him to keep on scoring and keep in the game.
He talks a lot about his mental game and progress there. Do you agree that's been a big part of his development?
Absolutely, yeah, totally. He's been working with Sports South and that accelerant program down there with Jason McKenzie and co. And Jason has been very good with him, and he's developed that hard-nosed thing because he's quite hard on himself, Vaughan, and he's just learning to develop that, not to let that get in the way. It's good to be hard on yourself, but he's learning to cope with leaving it behind as well.
Because top-level sports often about the mental game because you're very similar in talent.
Yeah, totally, and it's handling the pressure. And he's got to be able to do that. Like Jake Higginbottom on the weekend when he won the New Zealand Open, he said he was just so proud of his tee shot on the last hole because that showed him he could handle the pressure. And you know, on the 72nd hole of a tournament to win is pretty good. So those developments have got to be just learnt and continue to develop as well.
And we've seen internationally how Vaughan has coped with extra pressure. So that's a testimony to how much work he's done there.
Yeah, he has, and he's actually probably doing the last few tournaments internationally. He's done really well, and he's probably scoring. If you compare the New Zealand Open the other last weekend, he's actually scoring better in the international events with the amateurs than he did at home. So, but it's all different levels, and sometimes it's hard to play at home.
Well, just talk about that New Zealand Open. I know you've spoken to him since. Started well, finished well. Just that little lull in between cost him.
Yeah. So the Saturday day was the one that ruined his score, and he just had a pretty lackluster or a slow start on the first 9 holes, and just made a few mental decisions that he could probably change in the future. But yeah, that just put him out of the picture, really. Yeah.
Well, the fact that he didn't throw his toys out of the cot and let the whole game go, he fought back and got a good score at the end is a good sign.
Yeah, absolutely. So he had the control to come back on the Sunday and knew that he could play a good game of golf, and then still, because in the professional ranks, that's what you have to do. You have to sit there and come back on the last day, and you don't have to necessarily win it. You just have to increase your ranking so you get a better pay packet.
Exactly. Well, let's just talk about it. There's always a lot of argument about when to go pro. I'm a bit of a fan of going when you're in form than waiting. He's waiting at this stage. What's your feeling?
I think he's got a pretty good plan, and he's made the plan himself, so which I think is good, and then he should follow that, and we've just got to go with it. He wants to play a second Eisenhower, but simply what he has to do, he has to win internationally. So to take your standing in professional golf, you've got to win, and then he's got to compete against all those guys throughout the world that are going to do that, and then that's when he'll know that he can compete, and it'll just give him more self-confidence as well, that he can keep up with international play.
And do you think he can make it in the game?
I think he's going to make. To be honest, I do. I think he's going to make. He'll make money playing golf, and it's just probably the biggest question is how much. Yeah.
All right, he gets some more experience next week, or coming up actually, with the Australian Open, and it's a great invite.
A very, very, very good invite. So there's 2 New Zealanders going there as amateurs, and one won an event, and Vaughan got an invite. So it is a good event to play in, and some very good players there. So, and again, another chance to just excel in that environment.
And you'll be there on the bag.
Yeah, so a bit of hard work for the old fella, but yeah, no, very exciting. It'll be good to wander around with him for 72 holes and do a bit of work.
Have you caddied for him before?
Yes, I have caddied for him before. So last year a couple of times I caddied for him in events, and so we can still talk at the end. So it's good.
Did he win them?
He won one. He won one. So that was a Torrey 72 holer last year.
How do you balance the coaching role with the caddy role during the tournament itself?
Oh, well, the main role is to score. So so that's our aim, is to score on the golf course and get as low as you possibly can. So there's no coaching involved really at all. It's been how to manage your way around a golf course.
Right.
Yeah.
But you'll be taking a few notes.
Oh, always, yeah. You're always aware, and it's one thing as golf coaches, we don't see our players playing competitive events too often. So it'll be great for that environment. So we're able to sit there and watch what goes on, how he reacts to different things, and then you just do take some notes and bring them back and then work on them later.
Because you'll learn a lot about him once you're playing under pressure, shot selection, all those sort of things you never see.
Yeah, absolutely. Instead of this closed environment we have when we're just working on technique, then you're working how he blends that technique with fitness, food, and the mental, particularly the mental side.
I think what impresses a lot of people is that he gets out and milks the cows at 5 o'clock in the morning and fits to golf, and he's done the hard yards here.
Yeah, look, always encourage them to do that, because I think it's a really important thing, being away from golf as well. Like, you need your time away from in a sport or an event, so you know what the real world is all about as well. So I think it helps his golf, and then in the future, when he doesn't think he practices hard enough at the moment, or spends enough time practicing, which is then a good thing, and then in the future when he has got that time, he's just going to invest. It'll just only enhance his golf.